silly opening for this movie review, but that doesn't mean that I like this movie less. If anything, I think this is a super experience for everyone, at least for those who are of age, to enjoy. The R rating is sufficient and definitely matches the scenes involved. Though what gets me the most is the storyline. So here we go. This movie is about Lorraine, an MI6 agent whose current job is to investigate a murder of a fellow agent and securing a list of double agents that will definitely benefit the organization that she works in, I think. The storyline is a bit complicated and was a bit tough for me to follow, but I am trying my best to explain it, so please bear with me. However, the movie started with her being asked about what happened at the mission. So the timeline is a bit back and forth with Lorraine narrated the whole story. When she received the job, Lorraine learned that the agent that was killed was someone that she knew and worked together with. Then she found out that she has to do additional tasks, including retrieving the double agents list and eventually finding out the double agent who has been working inside MI6 and finally killing him or her. The story itself is clear, but how the storyline goes is another story. It's so full of secrets and intrigues and backstabbing, and of course hand-to-hand combat plus gunfights. Hence why this is such an interesting movie to watch. The ending was really shocking for me. At first I didn't think much about how the movie is going to turn out. I expect a lot of action, but I'm still questioning about the storyline. The trailer showed me exactly that. A movie that will have a lot of action, but not much on the story itself. I mean, one whole sentence from IMDb, and I understood what I will be watching. I'm starting to compare Atomic Blonde with other female lead movies, especially Lucy, since it's a movie about a badass woman as well. But I am so glad that this one is different because at least Atomic Blonde has a satisfying ending and clearer story. No offense to Lucy and everyone involved, especially Scarlett Johansson because she plays her part perfectly, but the ending was kind of hanging. Also, you can expect this movie to be a lot similar like John Wick because, surprise, surprise, the director involved is the one who made John Wick. I think he was directing the first movie but wasn't credited properly or something like that. Now that's all I can say without any spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, stop here and continue watching after you watch the movie. Now the first thing that I want to tell you about is how dandy the aesthetics of the movie really is. It's different from what Baby Driver has to offer, but just like John Wick, it feels like you're watching a comic book come to life. So it's not like just any other action movie that you have watched. Every frame involved in this movie is just like every panel in a comic book. For example, this scene, you can see that Charlize Theron is basically a goddess with her outfit. But if you see the color surrounds her, it's almost surreal. I can expect this in a comic book, probably set in a dystopian world or something, but definitely not in a movie scene. At least not with this color scheme and with this greatness. At least not always this perfect, so I am superbly amazed by the director's technique to be able to do this. It's amazing how he can tailor this movie perfectly like a graphic novel, which is I think where the story comes from. I believe the graphic novel is called The Coldest City. And another thing that makes this movie is great is how the hand-to-hand combat is seemed to be filmed just by like one sweep of a camera move. At least it looks that way. So if you know something about this, please let me know what's actually going on below in the comments because I'm really curious. What awes me most about this movie is actually this scene. It has no music, which allows me to concentrate on how beautiful the scene really is. From the moment she entered the building and then when she fight the dudes and when she was done, I was under the impression there's no cut in it whatsoever, which blows my mind away. Either Charlize Theron is very good at being a fighter, or the director is definitely doing his job perfectly. Since I can't really look for any flaw, I assume it was both of those things. Another quirk that everyone should be excited about is how complicated the story storyline was. At first, I admit I'm a little bit confused with the back and forth timeline, and I've mentioned this in my Dunkirk review, how back and forth timeline can be very confusing. And again, there's who is right and who is wrong, who is the double agent and all that. But that confusion led me to pay attention more and gradually understand each character's part in this movie. The ending of this movie reminds me of the movie called Perfect Stranger by Halle Berry, not by Halle Berry, starring Halle Berry, where the main lead is actually the culprit all along. And it's somewhat similar to this movie where Lauren Broughton is actually a triple agent. She's the one that got the first agent killed, and she's the one who framed David Percival, which is her contacts in German or Russia, him, Professor X, and eventually kills all the Soviet that she's been feeding fake intelligence to. Turns out, she's the double agent from the MI6 perspective. She's Satchel. The way Charlize Theron narrated her character's whole story is beautiful, and the way it brought us the scenes makes us understand her actions, and how everything happened is also just epic. Lots of props to this movie, just lots of adornment. Adornment, is that a word? If there's anything negative, it's just how mind-boggling the story can be. Sometimes it's hard to follow, but maybe it's just my fault for not paying attention. So if you do watch this movie, do not take your eyes off the screen because you might miss some important details. Last but not least, characters. I heart all the characters a lot because all of them have different goals. Although the one that stole my sights and my eyes is Lauren herself, played by Charlize Theron. I mean, she amazes me every time. I was so convinced that she's the good guy, that she was the one trying her best to work for MI6, but turns out I was wrong and she wants to betray MI6 all along. And she also a triple agent and the one who killed her own friend. Like how? But she makes this movie so gorgeous. I cannot expect a better main character than her, and I'm so glad that she has a good ending. David Percival is an ass, and even though he's actually the good guy, I don't pay attention to him much, but kudos to James McAvoy for playing such a douchey character. I always thought of him as the good guy. Him being a person with multiple personalities is an exception. I don't want to remember that because for me, he's always been Professor X. So, should you watch this movie? Well, since it's rated R, please make sure that you are old enough to watch the movie. But if you are old enough, I think this is a nice change of pace from your simple action-packed only action movie. This one actually has a decent enough storyline and beautiful video graphics. So if this is still playing in your country, buy the tickets and watch the movie. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I love you guys for doing that. Mwah. And don't forget to follow my Facebook and Instagram. I usually post more on Instagram, if you know. And so, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye!